The squad this weekend. I understand Tom Whelan is his third league match missing. Any other absentees that you've got?
No, we're in good spirits. A lot of tiredness, I said on Tuesday, but a nice down day yesterday, light session, and back into it today, ready for tomorrow.
Nathan Tyson, you said he was really close last week. Is he really close now?
You'll find out tomorrow.
Fair enough. Does the group deserve a heck of a lot of credit at the minute? Back-to-back 1-0 wins after 3 weeks without a game. It's been an impressive way to return.
Speaks volumes for the group, doesn't it? I think you're spot on there. They do deserve a lot of credit. The professionalism they've shown to come back in and put two performances in like that, two very different performances. It was always going to be a big ask on Tuesday, coming off from that third isolation period. I said the first game you can get through on your adrenaline. It's the second and third game that's the real challenge. But because you climbed half that mountain against Notts County and done it so impressively, it gave us that extra spurge of energy at the end there to see out Altrincham on Tuesday, which really we did relatively quite easily, to be honest, in the game. They didn't create hardly anything in the second half. The penalty's not a penalty, clear as day it's not. Disappointing that the referee gave that, really, and the lad went down, to be honest. And other than that, they had a free header from a set play. Other than that, again, Grant had very little to do in the second half, which I was pleased about because we had some words at half time. And I thought the team reacted really well to get the early goal in the second half and comfortably see out the game.
You mentioned Grant there. Clearly, clean sheets aren't just the responsibility of the keeper; it's the team. But he's come in, 2 starts, 2 clean sheets, penalty save. You must be impressed with him, particularly over the last few games.
Very impressed. I was impressed with Adam as well. He's a young lad coming in from Ipswich. He's conducted himself very well. But Grant's taken his opportunity now, and he's part of a back 4 there, including the back 3. And they've all impressed in the last 2 games again. So competition for places is healthy, and that's what I wanted to improve in the squad. Really, we're coming in 13-14 weeks ago. It's about challenging your direct positional opponent in the squad for a starting place, and long may it continue.
That for you must be great, really, because you brought in 2 keepers there that you'd have hoped will both come in, both perform, both challenge each other. But that gives you that headache and that competition that a coach and a manager really wants.
Yeah, if there's ever such a thing as a nice headache, it's that, isn't it? So it's a nice problem to have as a manager. The training's been superb, the intensity. There's a real buzz about the place, and we just want to continue our momentum now the best we can.
Just wanted to ask about a couple of other players. Obviously, Scott Bowden going out on loan to Torquay. A good move for all concerned?
I think so. If you look at it, we obviously need to move in a new direction. That's why I'm here, and we've done that with obviously Quasi's performances. Hopefully, underline that we're moving in a healthy direction. It hadn't worked before I've come in the building, before I come in the club, because I don't think the club's been in the top half for nearly 3 years or over 3 years. So that tells you that something needed to change. In regards to Scott and a couple of other players, I said after the game on Tuesday that if there's football available, I won't stand in anyone's way, because it's important, especially in the world the way it is now, the well-being of everybody, including football players. They come into that. It's important, and no way was I going to stand in Scott's way.
And Curtis Weston, new contracts agreed for him, been a sort of a regular for you. Pleased to get him tied down for another year.
Yeah, I'm delighted. I think I touched upon his physical stats, but it's not just his physical stats in the game. It's not running for the sake of running. He's played in different positions in midfield for me in that central position. He's shown flexibility, leadership, and he'll move forward as the club captain going forward. So, as an ambassador for the community, he'll now be our club captain going forward, which I'm delighted that he's accepted that offer from the club. I know the board are obviously very happy because he is that ambassador in the community. He is that bridge for us, along with some other players. But he will lead that process, and I'm delighted for him. He's settled with his family up here, and hopefully that will make him give him the platform to continue. He's great form really since I've been in. To be honest, he's a really good part of the heartbeat of what we're doing.
Yeah, that Rowe off the pitch is key really to what you and the trust and the club are trying to do as a whole, not just as a football team, but as an integral part of the community that you serve.
Definitely, especially now. I think it's more pressing than ever. I think we've shown that. I think we're building even stronger relationships. It was definitely part of my remit coming in as the manager here. It was clear Mike, John, Martin, and Andy Phantom, and the other board members made it clear that we are obviously a community club now, and we are moving in that direction. And it's important that the first team players and the staff, we play our part and we do as much as we can, and we're certainly doing that, hopefully.
Clearly you're on an excellent run with games in hand. I was really interested to hear your thoughts in the week about promotion, not playoffs. How much of a driver is that, particularly with your past experiences, that you don't just aim to make the playoffs, you're actually aiming to go on better?
Yeah, well, don't mistake my words. It wasn't a case of we're expecting to get in the playoffs now, we're taking one game at a time. We've got to remember where we've come from, and other managerial changes with teams near the bottom haven't worked. So it's impressive where we are, and that's a team effort. That's not just on my shoulders. It's impressive that we're in a position to have something to look forward to and play for, and looking upwards rather than downwards. I think that's the different mindset. But what I was alluding to was simply that when you get there, you don't want to lose. So it's a trap. Everyone thinks you've made it when you've got in the playoffs, and you get knocked out in the first round or the semi-final, whatever it is, and your season's finished. So it's about getting promotion. The P word is promotion.
In terms of Stockport this weekend, thoughts on them? Well placed, appear to have some mixed results.
Yeah, they've had a managerial change, obviously. Jim's gone there, so they've got a new manager. Mixed form, like you said, haven't scored many in their last few games, but they've created opportunities. They've changed their shape as well a couple of times, so it'll be interesting to see how they shape up tomorrow against us. But we're really focusing on ourselves. Like I said before the Notts County game, you have to respect every opponent. We know what the challenge will be tomorrow against a very ambitious Stockport County, but we're going in good form, and hopefully we can continue what we've been doing.
Clearly a little bit like Chesterfield, a bit of a change of direction for them in terms of the management. Jim Gannon leaving after his third spell at the club and seemingly doing really, really well in his spell in taking them up and getting them into the top echelons of the table. But on the flip side of that, a wonderful opportunity for someone in Simon Rusk who comes from a coaching and a youth development within the 23s at Brighton.
Yes, it seems that way, but from my perspective, I don't like to comment too much on other clubs and their decision-making process. Also about their style of play, or I find it a little bit crass when I hear that when other managers are commenting frequently on us. Even I think it's no one's place, but and you don't really know what's going on inside the building of any other club. So it's an ill-informed, hypothetical assumption if you keep commenting on other clubs, and that's not what I'm about. It's not what people are about here in this club, and we'll go there. We know, we fully respect Stockport, what they're trying to do. They're obviously very ambitious, but we're putting ourselves in a position now where we're in a good run of form, and there won't be many that are relishing playing us. So I think we can go there with strength, knowing that, and really set the tone. And I said last week, how can we influence this game at Notts County? Are we good enough to have a stamp on that game? And I think we showed that certainly in the first half, and we're looking to back that up tomorrow. Sorry Adam, you just went on mute there, I believe, mate. You were just on the... Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. In terms of Stockport, clearly Chesterfield played them a few times before you came in this season. Have you gone back and watched those games? Is there anything that you can sort of learn and take from them?
No, because I think that too many changes have been made in both teams. Also, obviously the managers have changed. I think it's different styles, so it's more the most recent games to be honest. And like I said, they've played in different ways. So, you know, we're aware of what the likely challenges will be, how they might set up either way, and what they're looking to do. But first and foremost, we've got to look after ourselves, and we've got to make sure we influence it how we want to.
And hopefully to continue the run that you're on. Still just one defeat since you came in. Overall, you must be really pleased in terms of the progress and the speed of progress that you're making.
Yeah, I really am. I'm delighted, clearly. But like I said, the trap is to think you've done something when you haven't. We haven't achieved anything. We're nowhere near where we want to be. But we have made quicker strides than expected.
Good. Thank you, James. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks, Adam.
Morning, James. How are you?
Hi.
It's great news about Curtis Weston signing a new contract. Is he a role model for other players at the club, the way he conducts himself?
For sure. Definite role model, on and off the field. Leads by his actions. Mainly the first in and last out nearly every day. That's impressive. But he fills his days with productive stuff, so it's not just doing that for the sake of it, it's actually being productive in those hours, and certainly it's telling its toll on the pitch. The shape he's in at his age is outstanding, and the figures he's hitting in the games when it's needed is outstanding too, so he fully deserves his deal. He's settled up here with his wife and his son, so it's good all round, and hopefully that will reflect consistently going forward in his performances as well.
And he's started every game this season barring one. He's a bit of a machine, isn't he?
He is. They call him the machine a little bit in training, actually, Gav and a few of the lads, so I'm sure he won't mind me saying that, so I'm sure he'll be pleased with those comments and that match-up.
It's an intriguing battle for the number one spot now between Grant Smith and Adam Prisbeck. Can they be rotated, do you feel? It's not a position which managers tend to do, but perhaps it's one we could see in the future. How do you see that playing out?
I'm not too bothered what other managers have done in the past or do in the future. It's about what I want to do with my team, my management team, and what we think's best. So if we think Adam should play, for whatever reason, whether it's because we've seen something in an opponent or see something to win a game, then Adam will play, and vice versa. We pick teams to win games. That doesn't matter what position you're in, and it's an intriguing competition for the number 3 spot, number 9 spot, number 10 spot. So that's what we want to bring. I think that we have got that now. I think we've got a settled squad now going forward. I think there's a clear identity about how we want to go about things. Technically on Tuesday we weren't so good, even though we made more passes than the opposition still. We outnumbered their penalty area entries, outnumbered their completed passes, crosses, shots, and we come off the field really disappointed with our performance. But I had to remind the players, actually we're disappointed because the expectation's that high now. We haven't completely dominated the opponent. It was an evenish game that we edged, by the way, both on the eye and also the stats, and we've come off thinking that, it was terrible, but it wasn't. It was a solid performance again in windy conditions, and to have the conditions in our favour in the first half and not take the lead, I think it shows great strength of character to take the lead against the conditions in the second half. So to go again is impressive. So that's what I take from Tuesday, especially off the back end of the isolation. I think it's real credit to the lads. We can take great confidence going into tomorrow's game from that.
And as a manager, how do you keep the players happy in terms of the ones who aren't playing? What's your sort of thinking behind trying to keep those players motivated and on their toes?
I think it's about the environment, making sure the environment's right when they come in for training, making sure the training's spot on for them, and they're still getting hitting those numbers that they would need to in a game, the ones that aren't playing, so they're as ready as they can be going in. But we may play a few fixtures going forward behind closed doors to keep those ticking over. That's something we're looking into at the moment, but at the moment, because of the isolation, we just want to get over this period of games to make sure we don't lose anybody or we can't fulfil those fixtures with the right numbers of players. So we've got to see what happens over the next 2 weeks with these upcoming games, and certainly we'll be looking to play some local games behind closed doors, so they're as ready as they can be, because they're going to be called upon. Without doubt, we need this squad now, and that's clear as day looking at the fixture list.
How far away is Joe Rowe now? How's he progressing?
Yeah, he was involved in the session yesterday, just lightly. He's starting running, not at full pace yet, but certainly up to about 3/4. He's on track with the proposed timescale I gave you at Bournemouth. He's probably on track for that, so not far away at all.
Just finally, James, there's a little bit of speculation in the national media this week about a possible new contract for yourself. Is there anything that you can say on that?
Nothing they say at the moment, but I don't really look at the speculation, as you know. I'm not really focused on other people, what other people say, or other press outlets. It's more about what we're doing inside the building, because we know best, because we obviously know what we're doing. What I mean by that is we know best is that we know what's going on inside here and how we want to move forward, and it's full focus on the games. There's no distractions here. It's all about getting a result tomorrow and continuing the momentum.
Would you welcome talks about a possible new deal if that was on the table?
Of course I would. I've really enjoyed my time. Obviously you come to most of the games, Liam, you see what the team's playing like and what we're trying to build in. There's a lot of smiles on faces. It's a fantastic environment to be part of now, and projects, because it is a project. I say it's a project because we haven't been in the top half for 3 years. It's a club like this, this stature, we need to be looking in the top half minimum. And I'm delighted to be part of that and leading that process as the manager.
I suppose in a roundabout way, when you are linked with clubs higher up, it must be quite flattering as a player or a manager, because it shows what a great job that you're doing.
Yeah, it is, but it's gone within a second, because, like I said, we're in the middle of a really heavy period now, and all I'm doing is focusing on the team, focusing on the training, getting the best out of every individual within that squad to make sure if they're selected, I've given them every percentage I can as aid, as a coach and as a manager, and my management team have, to make sure we can perform at the highest level individually and collectively.
Well, thanks for your time, James, and good luck tomorrow.
Thanks, Liam.
Morning, James.
Hi, Ian.
How well have the players recovered after what's been 2 close matches, after quite a long series of quarantines?
I think the answer will be, ask me at 5 o'clock tomorrow and I'll know. But at the moment I can't tell you. All I can say is that they've been given every aid possible to recover. Fantastic staff here with Nick, and obviously the analysis here. I get all the statistics I need and all the GPS data, and we know where they are. Today obviously coming back in with a slightly heavier session in preparing for tomorrow. We've got no injuries to report, so we'll see tomorrow.
With the North and South leagues being voided, what's the position of our players that were out on loan? And might we see some of them coming into the squad for rotation?
Well, they've come back. Obviously, Jamie's come back from Blythe at the moment. Obviously, Luke's back in the fold as well, so they're training with the group. So they come into the full protocols of testing, etc., to make sure we keep everyone safe and well. Again, that's the first box that needs ticking at the moment. We need to make sure everyone's well and everyone's safe. So we're creating the safest possible environment. So they're back in, and of course they're signed with us. They're signed players, and they come into my reckoning for selection.
With Stockport not having too good a run at the moment, is this a good time to play a side that was fancied at the start of the season?
Well, you asked me last week, is it a bad time to play Notts County because they've won 4 on the bounce? So let's see what comes. They're obviously a very good team. They've been in the playoff spots minimum this season for the majority of it from early days. So from the early fixtures. So they're clearly a team that's in the promotion reckoning. And what I love about these games is that you can learn so much. You can learn so much about the group. Where are we? How far away are we? Do we need to improve certain elements? Do we need to practice certain parts of our game? And even in the Notts County game, even though it was a real excellent performance, really, to be honest, we learnt a lot because we can always improve. So this is another game tomorrow away from home. What a great challenge for us, and let's see where we are at 5 o'clock tomorrow.
Besides signing a new manager, they've signed 1 or 2 players recently, including a young striker from Watford. What are you expecting from Stockport tomorrow?
Well, they've got the experience through the spine of their team, so we know that, and they're sprinkled with some athleticism. They've got some dribblers, they can play in multiple ways because they've got some lads they can go direct into as well. So they've got good variety in their play. The pitch will be interesting because I think it's slightly improved watching their most recent game. Before that, obviously, it had a bad spell, which you'd always got to take the conditions into account when you go into away from home. So I'm expecting a slightly better pitch than what they've had in previous games, which may help us in what we want to do.